This is a huge upgrade to my audio setup right now. It's a dedicated DAC and amplifier from ifi Audio. They make a whole bunch of these products. I think the Zen DAC 3 along with the Zen Can 3 is a good combination. Both of these have a similar unboxing presentation. The DAC or the amplifier is on the left side with the cables and accessories on the right. You get a Type-C cable with the Zen DAC 3 and a dedicated wall adapter with the Zen Can 3, the amplifier. Aside from that, both of them have a 6.3mm adapter and a set of RCA cables in the box. They both have this high-grade brushed metal unibody case along with this brass and leather aesthetic on the front. I mean, it's just a faceplate, it's not real leather, but it all feels really well made. All the controls are metal as well with super clicky buttons and a smooth but heavy volume knob. I mean heavy as in it doesn't feel flimsy, like there's some weight to it. These are marks of a high-end product. Nothing here feels cheaply made and it shouldn't. Both of these are relatively higher priced. So let's check out how they perform, starting with the Zen DAC 3. You can easily power this thing with just one USB-C cable which delivers both power as well as the audio signal. Now if you wish, you can connect an additional power adapter with this DC 5V port, because some audio purists feel like the USB connection can deliver cleaner signals if it's only handling audio without power. I tested it both ways and I couldn't really tell much of a difference, so you should be fine. Just connect a good quality USB-C cable and that's it. Talking about I/O on the back, the Zen DAC 3 only has one input, that Type-C port I mentioned. The other two, analog RCA and the 4.4mm balanced, are both outputs. Now this is convenient for most of us using a phone or a PC, something with a USB audio output, but I wish there were a few more input options like coaxial, just to have a choice if it's needed. Now while playing audio from this DAC, I made an upsetting discovery about my power supply. When I just connected my IEMs without playing any audio, there was like a mild hissing noise. And that kind of amplified a little bit when I touched the volume knob for some reason. Out of curiosity, I disconnected all the power sources from my laptop, like the adapter, the HDMI and everything. And yeah, when the system was purely on battery power, that hissing disappeared. Yeah, that basically means my home's electricity is not exactly clean, it has some noise. I considered burning down the entire neighborhood, but then I thought maybe it's a little bit crazy, especially on a weekend, so I thought let's not do that. Maybe I need to buy one of their iPower 2 adapters, one of these products that offers apparently cleaner and silent electric power. Looks like it has a similar noise cancelling technology like a wireless headphone, where it apparently creates a phase shifted noise depending on what your electricity is putting out, so it cancels it. It's kind of weird to me that a power adapter has advertised noise cancellation, but hey, it sounds interesting. I don't know, maybe I should take a look. Anyway, coming back to the DAC, you may have noticed that it has a button called X Bass Plus. Well, it's actually an analog adjustment to give you the extra low end which is typically lost in open back headphones. This X Bass Plus isn't some EQ boost, it works in the analog section itself, as I mentioned. So it comes across much higher quality and realistic than a DSP manipulation. So someone using open back headphones that don't have that low end like the Sennheiser HD600 could benefit from this. It's not a crazy bass boost or anything, but it's there and you can tell. The other button called Power Match is kind of like a high-low gain switch, it increases the gain a little bit, especially if you're pairing it with another amplifier, so it allows you to adjust the gain after the fact. There's also a switch on the back called Variable or Fixed. That basically means do you want to use the volume dial on the DAC or not. If you're connecting an amplifier, you can switch it to Fixed mode so that the DAC just gives the output without any volume change. That allows the amplifier to handle the entire volume and gain adjustment. That's essentially what I'm doing. Now this Zen DAC 3 uses a Burr Brown chip, which is a technical upgrade to the ESS chips that I'm used to. Now I don't think I'm seasoned enough to tell a difference between the two, but people who solely use high-end files like DSD256 or have giant FLAC libraries will probably benefit more from this. Of course, you can use the DAC by itself. It has a preamp that delivers up to 390 milliwatts of power to your headphones. Of course, I'll be pairing it with the Zen Can 3 amplifier, which is substantially more powerful. The setup is reasonably simple. I give the audio signal to the DAC using the USB-C port, and I'll send the output to the amplifier with Power Match and Fixed mode enabled so the amplifier can handle gain and volume. As you can see on the Zen Can 3, there are three specific inputs: RCA, single-ended 3.5 and 4.4mm balanced. And yes, the RCA is single-ended as well. It makes sense that you get this power adapter in the box for the amplifier because it needs that extra juice. Now this Zen Can 3 is a Class A amplifier, which means it's not chopping up the signal in a bunch of complicated ways. It's very linear, like it gives out the signal as is, which is pretty much as good as it gets. Also, this amp can output 2000 milliwatts of power, which means combined with that DAC, it can pretty much power anything. There are various audio presets available here, and once again they all work on the analog side. And for now, I'll be testing this with the RCA connection between the DAC and amp. It ideally requires a 4.4 to 4.4 mm connection. I think ifi does sell that cable separately. I plan on getting one of those. I don't know if there is any distinction between them. I'll try and get a good quality one, but till then, this single-ended one will do. On the amp here, you can switch between the 3 input modes, and there is extra gain if you want using that button. Okay then, sound-wise, how does it perform? Now, I actually liked it. Now, there wasn't really any weird coloration or any alterations to the sound that makes it unnatural. This setup sounded really pleasant and close to what the music actually sounds like from across all of my devices. I don't know if this is like reference grade or anything, but this is definitely pleasant and enjoyable to listen to. That's the ultimate point of music, isn't it? Aside from that mild hissing which I am noticing with my sensitive IEMs, which is mainly due to my power connection issue, there was no other problems with it. For a non-audiophile, non-music producing person like me, this was fantastic. Even though the headphones that I'm currently using, the Verum 2, is fairly easy to drive, I still noticed more details, especially in the lower mids, like that usually gets compressed a little with the, bass and everything. So the lower mids were a little more lively with this amp, even at relatively the same volume as before. Well, that extra power along with the more advanced DAC chip, that's what's making the difference here. And even though right now this setup is a little overkill for me, it'll be a good place to test out anything that I get on my table in the future. I did enjoy the sound presets that it has, the X Bass Plus and the X Space, which gives extra, clarity and details, like it expands the soundstage even more. It does make the sound a little bit thin, which I didn't like, but thankfully you can enable X Bass and X Space together. That's cool. There's also a game mode and a theater mode, which I didn't really use much, and good thing is this also supports the new XMEMS kind of headphones. I don't know much about these XMEMS or XMEMS type of headphones. Apparently it's a newer technology which is sort of emerging from the last 1 or 2 years. Apparently it specializes in microelectronics, which is similar to electrostatic, but unlike electrostatic, this thing is easy to mass produce. But be careful, don't set it on XMEMS mode for other headphones, because XMEMS has a high voltage bias that can damage your other products, so don't do that. That's why they have kept it as a long press. You can't accidentally go into that mode by pressing this button. You have to press and hold to enter XMEMS. It's a good thing, it's a safety feature. Only use it if you're absolutely sure your IEMs or your headphones have XMEMS. As I mentioned, all these presets are subtle, but they do make a difference. And especially they're working in that analog side, maybe that's why they feel more refined. Now, yes, there have been some mobile DACs that do have some EQ adjustments and stuff. But, honestly, if there is like a mobile app to use for that hardware, I don't usually use it. Maybe I'm old school, but I prefer mechanical buttons and dials. I like it. Now, one thing I noticed with the amp in particular, that it does get a little warm after some time. It's not anything like crazy hot, but it does feel significantly warmer than usual if you touch it. I mean, it's probably part of the heat dissipation mechanism, but heat indicates inefficiency, right? So this is probably not the most efficient chip design. I don't really know if many other high-end amplifiers of this caliber heat up in a similar manner. I mean, you're not really supposed to touch and fondle your amplifiers, but I'm just letting you know that it does warm up a little bit. I personally don't care. I mean, as long as the performance is good, it's matching my expectations, I'm good with that. I can deal with a little bit of warming or heating. And this indeed matches my performance. Actually, it exceeds it in several ways. So then, let me be clear. While this is an amazing setup, I don't think everyone needs one of these. Mainly because these USB DACs have gotten so good, you can drive a lot of IEMs and headphones just using these. They're affordable, super lightweight, portable, and easy to use without much of a setup like this. Also, there won't be any issues with like impure electric signals because these will just be powered by the battery on your device. But if you're venturing into higher end headphone section and you want something that drives them, which these may not be able to do, then yeah, this DAC amp setup is absolutely amazing for that. This will give you insane amounts of power to drive any monstrous headphone you have without draining the battery of your phone. Now, both of these ifi products are slightly on the higher price tier. They are not exactly super premium, but I can't really call them budget friendly either. But the quality is there, like you're not losing out anything for the money. I've been using ifi products for a long time. I can attest to their quality. I mean, their Go Link Max has been my go-to DAC of choice pretty much for the last entire 1 year. Yes, I recently upgraded to the nice HCK Octave. It's a little bit better, but obviously this is significantly on another level, so I'm going to be using this from now. At least when I'm at my desk. When I'm on the go, I'll probably use either one of these. And as I mentioned, this setup will be my go-to testing gear from now on for all IEMs and headphones to drive them optimally. Unless it's a DSP IEM with a Type-C connection. Anyway, that was it. Those were my impressions and thoughts on the Zen DAC 3 and the Zen Can 3. Amazing products. And no, these are not for sale. These are my babies from now. I'll link both of these in the description. If you're in the market for some high-end audio stuff, yeah, this is it. This is the place to go.